Hello and welcome to the Housing Minute. My name is Samuel Gunter. I'm the Executive Director of the North Carolina Housing Coalition, and today we have to talk for a second about the actions that HUD took yesterday to cancel a number of their national technical assistance contracts. These are contracts with organizations like Enterprise Community Partners, Corporation for Supportive Housing, Technical Assistance Collaborative, LISC, and others. You may recognize those names because they've done a lot of work here in North Carolina, whether it was writing a report on the affordability gap in a local housing market, whether it's designing and running a local housing trust fund, helping communities and organizations design policies so that they actually reach the folks that they're intended to reach. These are national experts that provide their expertise across the country for folks that are trying to make a difference on the ground for people and communities. What's notable about the cancellation of these contracts is not that they've been canceled, right? Because you could conceivably see, hey, we have a different strategy. We want to move in a different direction. Or we don't think you're doing a good job. All reasons to cancel a contract. The stated reason for the cancellation of these contracts was that they found DEI materials on their website and in their LinkedIn profiles. That is profoundly troubling and very clearly a direct violation of the preliminary injunction that was issued by the court on Friday. I am recording this video Thursday morning, February 27th, and I say that because I recorded another video yesterday that was 18 minutes long that tried to connect the dots between what's happening with the court cases, the executive orders, the funding freeze, and the congressional legislation, the congressional funding. And I would encourage, that's going out in Housing Matters today. I would encourage you to watch that to get a sense of how it all connects. The stated reason for the cancellation of the contracts was there was DEI material on their website. We were opposed to the executive order on its face, but also because of its implementation. It is vague and undefined. What does equity related mean? How are you defining DEI? Because depending on how you answer that question, conceivably every single affordable housing and community development program, resource, organization could fall under that rubric. And so if you do this work, if you deploy any of these resources on the ground, this is a 5-alarm fire. What do? The courts are going to do their thing. We don't have a lot of say in that. But what we do have a lot of say in is political pressure and legislative pressure. I spent the morning making 3 phone calls. I called Senator Budd's office, I called Senator Tillis's office, and I called my congressperson's office. I want to encourage you for the next week that as soon as you get into the office every morning, you make those 3 phone calls. You ask for whoever handles housing policy, and you make it clear what the loss of these resources would mean for your community. You're not always going to get a live person. You may have voicemails that you connect to. That's fine. I want you to call every day. And if you get a hold of someone on one day, call them again the next day. After you make those 3 calls in the morning, I want you to do one more thing, and that is write down a list of 3 to 5 names. These are your top folks, right? Your top supporters, the people who know what you do, know the work that you do, appreciate the work that you do. These could be board members, these could be donors, these could be rock star volunteers, these could be incredible staff, these could be partner families or clients that you've worked with, community groups that appreciate the work that you do. Top 3 to 5. Call them, explain to them what the stakes are, and ask them to do the same thing for the next week. Have their first 3 phone calls in the morning be Senator Budd, Senator Tillis, and your congressperson. We need as much pressure as possible so that they understand what is at stake for their communities right now. This is a 5-alarm fire, y'all. I have been at this work doing housing advocacy here in North Carolina for a decade at this point. And for those of you who have known me, I don't issue a lot of action alerts. I don't issue a lot of call now, email now. We don't do that, right? We do it when it's important. And right now, it is more important than the entire decade that I've been doing this work in North Carolina. There is a lot at stake. There is a lot under threat, but let me tell you something, it is not a done deal. You still have an ability to influence this outcome. So again, I'm going to encourage you the next week, when you wake up, get to the office, Senator Budd, Senator Tillis, and your congressperson, and make the message very simple. Cutting these resources is going to cost people their homes. You don't have to worry about getting into the weeds. You can explain how your program leverages CDBG to do a thing, or we use home money and couple it with local donations that allow us to. You can do that explanatory work, but what they need to hear loud and clear is the very simple message that cutting these resources is going to lose people their homes. Full stop. The pressure needs to happen now, and it needs to be overwhelming. Again, if you watch the video that I recorded yesterday that's going out in Housing Matters, you'll also see that I thank you for those of you who signed on to our letter to Congress, encouraging them to pressure the administration to make sure that the resources that are already appropriated get to where they're going and to prioritize them in budget negotiations. If you have not signed that letter, we've sent the letter out, but we are still adding signatories because we're going to continue to be talking to people about this. So if you have not had a chance to sign your organization on, please do so. We've had more than 400 sign on, covering every county in North Carolina. That is a big deal. And we need to keep that pressure on, because right now decisions are being made, and they're being made very quickly, that are going to have far-reaching and long-lasting impacts. It's time to show up with your voice for your communities, for the folks that you do this work for. It's a very difficult time, and a lot of us are feeling a lot of uncertainty about what is or is not going to be there 2 months out from now. The fight's happening right now. So again, Senator Budd, Senator Tillis, your congressperson, then talk to your best folks and have them do the same. Stay tuned for more updates. We're also going to be scheduling some kind of webinar call, something or other, in the next couple of days to hear back from y'all, what y'all are hearing, to kind of answer some questions about how all this fits together, what the consequences are if any of this is not clear. So be on the lookout for that. And if you aren't able to make it, send someone in your stead. Thank you, as always, for the work that you do. It makes a difference, and it is worth fighting for. You're worth fighting for. Your communities are worth fighting for. We'll see you next time.